This is WHIP, Philly's #1 college radio station. Now joining us on the hotline is a former Temple Owl, now is a stud in the NFL as a wide receiver, had over 500 yards this year and 3 touchdowns for the Oakland Raiders, and that is former Temple Owl Rod Streater. Rod, Zach Gelb here. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm actually going over to the Liacouras Center tonight as the Temple Owls play Charlotte. When you were here as a Temple student, which wasn't that long ago, what were some of your favorite places to eat around campus? Do you like going to Liacouras Center to watch the game?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was always eating at the Shack. Burger King at the time was up and running in the Shack. I always was there eating at Burger King. And going to the Liacouras Center, watch the men's basketball team was always a joy. You know, watching them get them W's and stuff and beat #1 and #2 ranked teams. So it was good always to watch them do that.
I was talking to a Temple fan today, and he said, I would really love a Temple football stadium on campus. As a player, did you like playing in the Lincoln Financial Field where the Eagles also play their home games?
Oh, yeah, I love playing there. It was a great experience being in college, you know, playing in the NFL stadium. But it would have been great to have our own Temple Stadium on campus where all the students can actually, you know, walk from the dorms and walk right up the street to a stadium. So it was good experience playing there, but it would have been better to have our own home.
It is National Signing Day today. Temple has a lot of recruits decided to attend Temple University today. Rod, take me back to your National Signing Day. What was that moment like?
Oh, man, I didn't actually sign until a couple of days later. It wasn't the best or the smoothest process for me. I had a couple schools I was visiting and everything, and when I finally decided to go with Temple, it was, you know, the best moment of my life, going to play Division I football on full ride. So it was a great experience for me, but signing day didn't happen for me.
Matt Rule was actually talking about that today at the press conference. He was talking about how you're the perfect definition, you and Bernard Pierce, of a Temple football player. And when he got to you, he said your National Signing Day always wasn't that great. You didn't always have those high looks. People always underrated you, and now you're playing in the NFL. Can you explain this to me, though? How'd you go from having under 20 catches in your senior year, and now you're making a big impact on an NFL team?
You know, it's all about hard work. Going to Temple really helped me prepare for the NFL. I had great coaches like Matt Rule, Coach Golden, Dazio. And the thing is about Temple, we was a running school. We had Bernard Pierce, so a lot of us wide receivers is pretty much blocked from anytime we did get the ball was either on a play action, down the field type of route. But, you know, having 18, 19 catches, a lot of NFL guys was looking at me. The scouts were saying, you know, I had the talent, but I didn't have the stats, so it was kind of a risk to draft me. That's why most teams wanted to get me in the free agent process since they knew I would be available. But, you know, if you had the talent and you make it to the NFL, you can stay. It's all about what you do when you get here.
When you didn't get drafted on draft day, how extra motivated were you to get better?
Oh, I kind of figured I wasn't getting drafted. I was just ready for the draft to be over and just finally hear what team I was going to play for. It was motivation seeing what teams picked up with wide receivers and where everything panned out. So it was kind of, you know, I had a chip on my shoulder, undrafted guy going against these guys that went in the 4th, 5th round. So I just worked extra hard and knew I was going to have to come on the scene extra hard, knowing that, you know, there's people out there that was drafted over top of me.
So let's say one of these kids that just signed with Temple University, they're going to play their next 4 years of football at Temple, and you're still always involved with the Temple community. You were on campus a few weeks ago. Let's say they come up to you, Rod, as we're talking to Rod Streater, Oakland Raiders wide receiver, former Temple wideout, and they come up to you and they say, Rod, how do I play under Coach Rule? What would your advice be?
Just show him that, well, first, he's a great guy, and he's easygoing, so he's a player's guy. So all you have to do is just work hard, put extra work in the phone room, and just play your heart out. You know, he's easy going. You don't have to really go through a lot of stuff with him. He just wants to see you play football and bring the best out of you.
Super Bowl just happened. The Baltimore Ravens won the game by a score of 34-31. Bernard Pierce, a former teammate of yours, host up the Lombardi Trophy. When you're seeing your former teammate go out there and win a Super Bowl and be a vital part of that Ravens running game, what's going through your head?
First, I'm excited, you know, to see a former teammate out there toting the rock, and he had a great game, and I was excited for him, man. It just shows you that no matter where you come from, you work hard and just have make it. And that just seeing them on TV just gave me that much more motivation. Now that I made it to the NFL, that's done. I'm trying to make it to Pro Bowls, MVP, Super Bowl, do things that he's accomplished, you know, making it to the Super Bowl. So now I feel like it's my turn to go out there and do something special.
The Raiders had a down year this year. They went 4-12. Their last 2 years before that, they both went 8-8 under two different head coaches. How far away do you think this Raiders team is from going into the playoffs?
We got all the elements. You know, we had a bumpy season last year, just going through the whole coaching staff change and the general manager and all that stuff. But we're close. We have a lot of talent, great running back, great quarterback, great defense. So it's just a matter of us putting it together and just winning games. It's hard to win in the NFL. It's one play away. So I feel like we'll do great this year and get us back on track.
We're talking to Rod Streater. Rod, a few more questions right before we let you run. And you know, as a wide receiver, when a cornerback puts too much contact on you and when it's not enough contact, when it's just the right amount that doesn't draw the flag. You saw the Super Bowl on that 4th and goal play. Do you think Jimmy Smith had a little bit too much of a contact on Michael Crabtree?
Oh, man, that was painful to watch. It goes both ways. I think it was a lot of contact on him, but it wasn't, like the commentator said, it wasn't the best route. If he would have ran to the back of the end zone a little bit faster, I think they would have had to call it. But since it was within 5 yards, they just, you know, at the end of the game, they let him play. So it kind of goes both ways.
And to me, you saw Crabtree. He was getting mugged on the play. There's no doubt about it. But he tried to push off to try to get himself away to try to go make a football play. When you're a wide receiver, because if you push off as well, then both players make some contact. When a guy's mugging you and you want to try to get away, how tough is it to resist from pushing off on that cornerback?
It's hard. It's something you definitely have to work on because it's natural. It's natural to push off. It's natural to get them off of you. And like I said, you want to, especially when you're in the red zone, you want to run to the back of the pylon. If you know it's a fade route, you want to take a couple steps, stick them inside, and run straight back. So you want to try to have the least amount of time, you know, in front of the DB so you can get over. Because, like I said, you want to. It's going to be natural for you to push off. It's just a natural thing to do.
I was down in New Orleans on Radio Row for the Super Bowl, and hearing all the stories all week long, you heard about Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Randy Moss, the Harbaugh brothers. But one story that kind of got lost in the spotlight was another wide receiver, same as you, as Torrey Smith. You look at Torrey Smith; he lost his brother early on in the NFL season, and for him to win a Super Bowl, that was really fun and good to watch.
Yeah, I was happy, you know, everything worked out for him and he won a Super Bowl because it can be hard. The NFL is pretty stressful alone, and to be able to go through that, you have to have a lot of mental toughness and willpower to keep going and continue to make plays. And, you know, my prayers are with him and his family, and I'm happy that he did get that Super Bowl ring, but losing your brother is very tough, so I hope he continues to have success and get over it.
Rod Streater joins us on the hotline, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. Zach Gelb here with you for Temple Sports Hour. And Rod, what was the toughest transition from going to college to the NFL in your first season?
It's probably the amount of plays you have to learn. In college, it was pretty simple. When you get to the NFL, they give you a huge playbook and expect you to learn it within a couple of hours. So that's probably the biggest part of college to the NFL is just the mental part. Speed of the game, too. Guys are a lot bigger, a lot faster. So just adjusting to that was pretty hard for me going from college to the NFL.
I always find this fascinating whenever we have a rookie on the show is to ask him, when you first went into training camp, when things got going, what was the worst prank that you had to suffer through?
The haircuts.
Did they ever tie you up to the goalpost or anything and pour Gatorade on you?
I escaped that. I was too fast for that. I seen it happen, so I ran away, and they caught some other guys, but they eventually caught me when me and a couple other rookies were in meetings. Richard Seymour came in, all the coaches left. So I felt like we were set up, and the coaches knew what was going on. But yeah, they shaved their heads and left patches all throughout their heads and stuff. So they got us.
So when you go home to, I don't know, your girlfriend or when you see anyone in your family and they see that kind of haircut, what's going through their mind?
they just laugh and say, I guess they got you, huh? Because the whole camp I was saying, you know, I was the one saying they wasn't going to get me. And came the last day of camp,
We're talking to Rod Streater. Rod, a few more questions right before we let you go. Dennis Allen, the first-year head coach, will be coming up year 2 this year. What were some things you learned this year from Dennis Allen, your head football coach?
Oh man, just being a pro, how to study, how to work hard through ups and downs. You know, it's not about what's going on right now. You just gotta look in the future, and he taught me a lot just being a pro, how it's not all about the physical talent. Sometimes, you know, everybody in the NFL has some type of talent, but it's the guys that last who have the mental toughness and the mental side to get through it. So he taught me how to really be a pro.
You had an incredible rookie season, over 30 receptions, 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. You had that big Monday Night Football game. A guy like you could be very happy with your first year, but what are some things you need to improve on in year number 2?
I think first of all is just the mental part, I guess, just learning more, getting the knowledge down of different teams and just studying, and then my route running, my catching. Definitely yards after the catch. That's something I'm going to focus on this year, is working on catching the ball and getting yards after the catch. So it's a lot of things I can improve. I'm not happy with my season. I wasn't happy with the fact that we didn't make it to the playoffs. So a lot of people would tell me, yeah, I did good, but it's not good enough, and we got to step it up another level.
Well, Rod, I'm pretty good friends with Matt Rule and a few of the football players since I cover the team on a daily basis, and I know that you're on campus a lot. So next time you're on campus, we'd love to have you in studio, talk with you a little bit, and I promise you, Rod, we will not put any crazy hairdos on you. We won't throw you into the cold tub, any of that stuff. I appreciate the time, my friend. Don't be a stranger to this show. Thanks so much. Come on again real soon.
All right. Thank you for having me. I'll see you soon.